Welcome to the Healthy Lifestyle Show podcast. Our podcast is all about eating healthy, being active, and living a healthy lifestyle. We believe living healthy should be easy. That's why we have a free ebook at healthylifestyleformula.com, which can help you start your healthy lifestyle journey in easy-to-follow steps. Let's jump into this week's podcast topic and welcome our guest. Welcome back, Jay. How are you this week?
I am good as always.
Excellent.
And I always look for this opportunity to share and make some difference in someone's life.
Yeah.
That's who I am.
Yep.
So I'm always looking forward to share whatever I can.
Excellent. And what are you going to be sharing with us this week?
Well, I thought about it. We had a good, I would say, series of episodes for the paleo diet.
Yes, we did.
And I thought that why not change the gear and let me talk about something very, very personal.
Okay.
Now, the reason why I'm saying personal is because almost like, I think it has been now 4 years, 5 years, something like that. I don't remember exactly. When my wife was, it's more than 5 years now. When my wife was diagnosed with life-threatening health issues, and I had left my job, the corporate career, and I was taking care of her in the hospital. Now, because of stress could be a real major killer for anybody, no matter who you are.
Yes.
It would get you. And the only way you can fight back is by eating healthy, thinking healthy. That's a very, very important thing. Thinking also, and when I'm saying thinking healthy means keeping yourself positive, fighting it back. Now you can imagine my life, taking care of her, taking care of everybody else in the home and, and going every day and staying the, whole day in the hospital.
Yeah.
And, no money coming in because I left my job to take care of her.
Yeah.
So financial worries.
Yeah.
And of course the psychological, because my wife is there.
Yeah.
She's like, almost like, I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And on top of that, all the physical challenges because, hey, you still have to take care of so many other things.
Yeah.
So when I was going through all of that, almost like after 10 months or so, I was diagnosed with thyroid.
Okay.
And my doctor said that the way, after like she got the results and all that, and she says, okay, I want you to go for next month again for the checkup.
Yeah.
Just to see if the medication is working or not. And she kept me doing that at least for a few months.
Yeah.
Pretty regularly just to see if medication is working or not.
Yeah.
And at that time I realized that it's not the medication alone which can help me. I have to help myself.
Yeah.
And those people who know my background and everything else, they know I'm a strong promoter, champion of the healthy eating.
Yeah.
But I couldn't do that during that period when I was taking care of my wife, and burning my savings and doing, and then, sometimes not even sleeping well.
Yeah.
It was a painful period for me. So at that time I decided, and my mother was alive at that time. She said that, hey, what's going on? You seem to be really worried. I know I can't come over there. I can't help you, but I want to tell you, come over here and I want to have a chat with you.
Yeah.
So I went to see my mom and she looked at it, everything. She said that you need to take control of yourself. If you can't take care of yourself, how can you take care of your wife? How can you take care of your kids and everybody else?
Yeah.
So she reminded me everything and she said that, you know what? Go back to your childhood. the way everything was taught to you.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, Mom. And I came back.
Yeah.
And that was my almost like real kind of awakening.
Yeah.
That no matter what happens in my life, I'll do two things.
Okay.
Number one, I would eat healthy.
Yeah.
I would take care of myself.
Yep.
And number two, I would share this message with everybody else so that others can take care of themselves.
Yeah.
With whatever I can.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to share this message. And that's the reason why, if you remember, the whole podcast was started because of that same reason.
Yeah.
So coming back to the thyroid issue now, my doctor noticed after 5 or 6 months or so, suddenly everything is changing rather than deteriorating, which was happening earlier.
Yeah.
Before I went to see my mom.
Yeah.
She said, I don't know what you're doing, but keep doing whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
It's all going in the positive direction.
Yeah.
And I said, gosh, my mom was right.
Yeah.
It does work. And my mom always says, she used to say this, that foods, natural and fresh foods, when you take those, the right ones, it can do magic. Some people say, hey, foods are medicine. Whatever way you want to look at it.
Yeah.
The real vitamins, minerals, everything, all the macronutrients and the micronutrients, you can get from food alone.
Yeah.
And I'll cover maybe in coming, episodes that as we age, we would have to supplement with other vitamins and supplements and those kind of things, just because our body can't take everything from food alone. So that's a different topic for some other day.
Yeah.
So what actually I started doing at that time, many people started asking me. And I had shared some of those foods which I had started kind of playing around, switching around.
Yep.
And I've shared those foods in the past.
Yes.
But it was never kind of a structured way. So I said, why not I start some kind of a more mature podcast series now?
Yeah.
For the benefit of everybody, where I can give little bit more methodical steps.
Yeah.
And it could be like step 1, step 2, step 3 kind of a thing. So more and more people can benefit from this.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, why don't we start something like foods to eat for thyroid health? That can be a series. Maybe we can do, hey, you can do as many as you want, but what I'm thinking, maybe we can do 4.
Yeah.
That's kind of a balanced number.
Yes.
Nothing more, nothing less.
Yeah.
Where I can focus, I can share everything what I have gone through personally.
Yeah.
And I can share that message, because not many people have that kind of knowledge or the kind of Himalayan background.
Yeah.
Who can experiment and who can see what's working and what's not working.
Yeah.
So keeping that in mind, today, what I basically wanted to kick off in this episode is, it's almost like the concept of, should I give a fish to somebody?
Yeah.
Or should I teach how to fish?
Yeah.
I believe in second. I want to teach how to fish so that everybody can start fishing on their own.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, let me start with the basics.
Okay.
So like thyroid anatomy, how thyroid functions, why thyroid hormone is important, how does it help you to live healthy, and your overall wellness and everything else. So it's a little bit technical in nature, what I'm going to talk about today, but believe you me, it's going to help later on, because when I talk about why you need to eat this food, that's going to help you. You can connect the dots.
Okay.
So it's much better. It's not saying, hey, just do this.
Yeah.
Do this because of this reason.
Yeah.
That's much better. When people understand why, they adopt some of that in a better way. So that sounds good?
It does.
Okay. So now many people say, hey, where is thyroid gland located? So let's just start with that kind of a small basic, stuff first.
Sure.
So, this is your trachea. So in the neck, I'm just looking at everything.
Mm-hmm.
And this is Adam's apple.
Yeah.
And the butterfly shape around this Adam's apple, this is if you press it over here, you'll feel, if you put it at the right place, you'll feel this is thyroid gland.
Okay.
It's very, very small.
Yeah.
And it does have amazing power.
Yeah.
Some people say it's how small and so if I have to give you in terms of weight and all that, it might weigh, I would say, 1 ounce.
Okay.
So 30 grams or something like that.
Yeah.
It's pretty small and that a small piece does control so many things.
Yeah.
So now, if I have to teach to somebody like to a 5-year-old kid, this is the way I do it because that's how I learn it. Yeah. I want to keep things very, very simple.
Yeah.
So the way it works is like thyroid gland releases hormones.
Yeah.
And those hormones are called T3 and T4.
Okay.
Just for, I would use some of those terms in any case just so that we can speak the same lingo over here.
Yes.
So those hormones, the basic and the primary function of those hormones is to go through the blood to every single body cell. Like we have millions and millions of like cell everywhere. And in order for every organ to function properly, that cell needs energy. That cell needs to live.
Yeah.
And this thyroid hormone controls every single body cell inside our body.
Wow.
That's powerful.
It is.
Now I'll touch on this a little bit later, but it doesn't have the mind of its own. It doesn't know when to release the hormone or when to stop the hormone.
Okay.
So for that, that's where we have to go up in the brain.
Yeah.
There's a gland called hypothalamus in our brain. And many people use that word.
Yes.
And that is the one which controls the release of hormone.
Okay.
Not directly.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit complicated and let me share the steps. How does it do that?
Okay.
So below the hypothalamus, there is a small gland, peanut-sized gland.
Yeah.
It's called Pituitary Gland.
Yeah.
So what hypothalamus does, it releases a kind of a hormone. It's called TRH.
Okay.
That TRH hormone, that's how communication happens within the body. All that communication.
Yeah.
So that TRH goes to pituitary gland.
Yeah.
And pituitary gland notices, signal has come.
Yeah.
Now I can start producing another hormone called TSH, which is called thyroid stimulating hormone.
Okay.
So they say, I can release TSH. So now pituitary gland releases TSH.
Yeah.
That goes inside the blood. And as soon as thyroid gland notices, I can see TSH.
Yeah.
Because there are receptors which says, it's like electronic signals.
Yeah.
I can see TSH. Okay. That means I have to release T3 and T4 hormones.
Okay.
And as soon as within the blood, hypothalamus notices there is enough hormone for enough energy for every single, body cell, everything is okay. We don't need more than this. It stops releasing TRH. That's how it communicates with pituitary gland.
Yeah.
Now pituitary gland says, I will stop receiving TRH. I should stop TSH.
Yeah.
As soon as it stops TSH, thyroid gland says, oh, no more TSH. I should stop releasing hormones.
Yeah.
You can see how everything is happening inside a body.
Yeah.
I find it very magical, the human anatomy, because of that reason only, So now this thyroid hormone, as I was earlier explaining, goes through the blood to every single body cell.
Yeah.
And the main function of thyroid hormone is to generate energy inside the body cell. So converting food into energy.
Yeah.
Because every single cell is a living cell.
Yeah.
It needs energy in order to survive, in order to grow even, in order to even maintain the body temperature.
Yeah.
So even if somebody says, you know what, I'm not that active, so I don't need energy. No, even to breathe, you need energy. Even to talk, you need energy.
Yeah.
And some of that where you're not doing anything else, just lying down and breathing and just maintaining the body temperature, just that alone, you need energy, and it's called basal metabolic rate.
Okay.
Basically is even to maintain the body temperature, maintain all these functions of the body, every single body cell needs energy.
Yeah.
And that's why you can now see if thyroid goes wrong for whatever reason, guess what's going to happen? There's so many challenges, so many issues you'll have.
Yeah.
It's a small, very, very small gland, but it does have massive importance in our body.
Wow.
And I deliberately keep the podcast less medical, less technical.
Yeah.
But in this case, I think I had no other choice.
Yeah.
I had to share a little bit this, so that at least, next time when we're talking about other things, then I can say, remember T3 and T4? You remember the hypothalamus? You remember the pituitary gland? You have to eat this food because in order to have that hormone functioning properly, in order to do that, you need this food.
Yeah.
So in order to create those kind of connections, I had to share this.
Okay.
So now the big picture here is that because there are so many things involved, when we start looking at what happens if something goes wrong, maybe we can look at that maybe next episode.
Yeah.
Because this information alone is quite heavy.
Yes.
And then after that we can start looking at that, okay, what kind of foods we should be taking.
Yeah.
What kind of foods we should be avoiding. Then we can start, maybe the final episode could be all about, okay, let's put all these food together and let's do the meal planning and, something which I did basically in my life.
Yeah.
And that's how I am so happy now that, and my doctor is happy.
Yeah.
That's the main thing.
Yeah.
My body is happy.
Yeah. That is the main thing.
That's the main thing. So I think with that, I wanted to today give a pause now, stop it over here.
Okay.
And in the next episode, I think we can talk, what happens if one hormone goes wrong, or, if thyroid gland releases more hormone, then what happens? Yeah. All of those kind of things, we can start looking at, next week.
Sounds good.
All right. With that, I want to say thank you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you again next time. If you want to start your healthy lifestyle journey, don't forget to get your free ebook at healthylifestyleformula.com to start your healthy lifestyle journey in easy-to-follow steps. This podcast is brought to you by healthylifestylepodcast.com.